Welcome to Ray Reads, a podcast where I discuss the books I'm currently reading. For this episode of Ray Reads, I will be discussing Eldest, Book 2 of the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. This book picks up right after the Battle of Ferdinand. The leader of the Varden, Ajihad, is soon assassinated, a tragedy which nearly overshadows their victory. What I appreciate about his death is how the men of the Varden are allowed and even encouraged to weep for Ajihad. I am so used to toxic masculinity forcing men to soldier through their grief in a tough guy manner. It is refreshing to witness these men openly expressing their emotions. The greatest emotion that Aragon struggles with in this story is his feelings for Arya. He attempts to hide his infatuation from Arya out of fear of being ridiculed by her. Aragon is embarrassingly unsuccessful, and Arya is painfully aware of his attraction to her. I appreciate that Arya turns down his advances. Aragon is hardly more than a child, and she is over 100 years old. Arya recites the tale of Linnea and the Manoa tree to help Aragon understand that a relationship cannot work between them, that they are simply unsuited to one another. Linnea's story is tragic. Being betrayed by someone you love is one of the worst feelings in the world. I love that Linnea murders the man who cheated on her rather than the other woman. There are too many instances, like the Greek Medea, where the betrayed woman takes her revenge on the other woman, but not Jason or the man who breaks her heart and trust. Anyway, let's go back to Arya. Aragon perceives her through rose-colored glasses, as is evident from his farce. He imagines her to be perfect, but of course, she has her flaws. Arya is extremely judgmental. It bothers me how she argues and belittles the dwarves over their religion. I mean, I am an atheist too, but I think it's important to respect that other people have different beliefs. And it's not just the dwarves. Arya frequently refers to human women as helpless females. But as we see from Angela, Nazuwada, and the women of Carvajal, especially Burgett, human women are more than mere damsels in distress. Arya is one of the many strong female characters in the Inheritance Cycle. She decided to become an ambassador for her people against her mother's wishes. Arya endured Durza's torture and protected all of her secrets. When Arya is first reunited with her mother, Queen Islanzadi, she recounts her tale. Islanzadi, at first, shows only love and concern for the daughter she believed was dead. After hearing about Arya's experiences, Islanzadi adopts an "I told you so" attitude and tells her daughter that she never would have been tortured in the first place if only she had obeyed her wishes and never left to work with the Varden. Miss Lanzotti is not the only terrible parent at hand in this book. Sloane, the butcher, conspires with the Razak to kidnap his own daughter, Katrina, in a foolish attempt to protect her. Sloane is a disagreeable and paranoid man who cares only for his daughter. Katrina obviously loves her father, but I wish that the story depicted Sloane as a loving parent rather than a controlling one. On the note of parents, I think it's neat that the dwarf king Hrothgar adopts Aragon. I would have loved it if they had more bonding time together. For that matter, Aragon should have had more quality time with Murtagh too. His family is growing unexpectedly now that he is a dragon rider. And, of course, Aragon still has his cousin, Roran. Roran is very unlike Aragon. For lack of a better word, I would describe Roran as manly. He is a devoted man. Once he sets his heart and mind to something, nothing can deter him. His love for Katrina is one of the strongest forces in this book. When the Razak steal his lover, Roran embarks on an impossible quest to save her. Most of us can only dream of finding someone so devout in their love. Enough sappiness. Let's discuss Elva, the child with a dragon mark on her brow. Aragon had intended to bless this babe, but wound up cursing her. He cursed Elva to endure the pain of everyone around her, no matter how great or slight, physical or mental. And on top of that, the spell compels her to act to alleviate the suffering of others, even at the cost of her own life. I appreciate that Aragon is remorseful and desires to rectify his terrible mistake. However, I disapprove of him asking Elva for her forgiveness. It was an accident, but he did something beyond horrible to a baby. Elva has every right to deny him absolution. In such a brief span of time, Elva has suffered many times more than an average person does in their entire lifetime. On a lighter note, I learned that Angela the Herbalist is inspired by the author's sister, Angela Paolini. The Herbalist is such a fun character. I wish she played a greater role in the story. But this story obviously belongs to Aragon. He is caught up in so many grand events. He is the hope of Alagasia. He is coming into his own and transforming into a great dragon rider. But when the war eventually ends, what does Aragon wish to do with his life beyond his duties? What future does he dream of for himself? Without this knowledge of his desires, I feel as though there is a piece missing from his character. At least we know Saphira's one great desire. She wants to save what's left of her race. She discovers a new hope in the Golden Dragon Gladiator. Saphira is eager to mate with the old dragon, but the feeling is not mutual. And if even Gladiator reciprocated her attraction, I do not believe that they alone can repopulate an entire race. I am not an expert, but I would guess that the inbreeding of their potential offspring would nevertheless lead to their eventual extinction. At any rate, I am excited to see where the next book takes us. I am dying to see more of Murtagh, especially, as well as other minor characters such as Burgett from Carvajal. There is no more time for training as the war is rapidly progressing. I hope to witness Nazuwada's growth into an even greater leader than her father before her.